All right, welcome back. It's week 4. We're alive. We're breathing. I don't think we did great, but I don't think we did terrible.
That's a great way to put it because as it stands, I am down 2.5 units. You are up 2.5 units. The
We're at 0.
universe perfectly balanced. So week 4, I think that's a perfect way to put it. The week 3 was the highest the highs. Week 2 is the lowest the lows. So it seems like we're now hitting equilibrium. I feel like we got a good feel for the season. We're
Yeah,
back to picking on Thursdays, which means we can actually put out some real winners. So I feel
dude,
like we're I feel
it's
like we're good.
crazy though. We're talking about Thursday winners. Like, dude, I
Yeah.
was listening to stuff and looking at stuff that was a certain number, say at lunchtime, and now it's like
Yeah,
crazy.
completely changed.
I had an under pick. I'll tell you right now. I was looking at the under in South Carolina and Akron
Yeah.
because South Carolina has quarterback injury issues, and Akron's probably not going to be able to score on air.
No.
And that number was 45.5. It's now at like 42.
It's dropping like a
Yeah.
fucking lead weight. Well, before we get into it, let's go a very quick recap. Not very, honestly, last week, Frankie Dimes, NC State minus 21 and a half, 21 loser. Texas
Grayson
State
McCall got hurt
loser.
on that, and I don't think he'll ever play again.
Probably not. A&M -3 winner. WVU loser. ECU +3 barely covered.
There we
Lost
go.
-1, not a bad week. Yinzer -2.5 with West Virginia loser. Should have been a winner. Washington -4.5, bad pick. Kansas Notre Dame moneyline parlay. I will never get over that Kansas loss. That's probably my worst beat of the year. And then Michigan -13.5, first half winner, 2-unit play. So 1 and 3, but my 2-unit bomb came through. So I'm hitting my big ones.
You're hitting the big ones.
We'll talk about West Virginia maybe for a little bit. I don't want to talk about it for more than 2 minutes. They don't deserve it. But Kansas last week, turnovers,
Vent
they
on it.
let they let them score with 15 seconds left in the end of the half, and then just unbelievable. They had about 8 guys on defense touch a fumble and didn't recover.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the worst beat that I can remember. Just it felt like the entire time Kansas was going to win, and they didn't. Of course, Notre Dame blows up Purdue, so that one hurt. I feel like it's very cliche, but I would do that play over and over again. So just to see hair away from an absolute great weekend. But you know what? That's what happens. So,
Would you
but like I
consider
said,
that? Would that fall under the definition of right side wrong result?
absolutely, that's the right play. Kansas was the right play. Turnovers, clock management, fumbles, just things that should not. If you play that game 20 times, that's the absolute worst outcome for Kansas every time.
As we
I
get
watched
more
that
and more
game.
data points, on Kansas football, Andy Kotelnicki might have been
Yeah,
the guy.
it would have been just screaming, "Run the damn ball! Stop putting it in the air!" And then, like I said, at the end of the half, what are they doing? There's 15 seconds left. It looks like they're not going to use their timeouts. It looks like all you got to do is just tackle the guy in bounds and it's over. And they let the guy go for a wheel route and score a touchdown. So it looks like instead of going up at half,
It's
up
always
10.
open.
Yeah. So whatever. Whatever. It lost. Not the end of the world. I'm down 2.5 units. You're up 2.5. We're perfectly zero, which is a
I'm
great.
down like 4 units off pod. Get this. I'm down 4 units off pod. All right. But that group that you didn't want to join where
Yeah.
I made amends with my bookie and he got me in the
Yes.
pick'em league.
Yeah.
I'm the number 1 player in that league.
Yeah.
I'm 3-0 in my matchups. I've hit all my locks, 3-0 in my lock picks, and I have the most points accumulated. I only lost one pick last week. I went like 5-1, 6-1 because you make 7 picks. Why don't I just make the picks that I make on that on here?
I've been playing my picks off on pod. I've been doing great on live betting, and I've been doing great making adjustments on Saturday. I absolutely slammed. Once Pitt scored that touchdown, I absolutely slammed Pitt live money. I think I put those picks in our chat
You
that I
did.
was just like, I think I bet about $400 on Pitt, whatever they were plus 180. So I
And we
was like,
knew this, and we can,
yeah,
this goes into something we can touch on briefly.
yeah.
I respect Neil Brown. I appreciate Neil Brown. I like Neil Brown
I don't. I'm not.
as a person.
It's fine.
Seems like a great father.
It's great.
Cares about recruiting.
It's fine.
It's a results business, and we're not
Yeah.
getting results.
Sports is the only thing you'd say. If you had an investor that lost you $2 million, no one's going to talk about what a great father he is. Give me a fucking W. I don't care. I'm done with this. I'm good done with the Opie Act. I'm sick of the guy. You're up 10
Listen,
points with 4 minutes left.
I think he's an all shucks youth pastor as much as the next guy. And I think a lot of journalists treat him with kid gloves because he remembers their name, and that's like a journalism trick.
I
Oh, if a
I
coach
think he
remembers your name, you got to treat him with kid gloves and treat him nicely. And
I think he needs to
listen,
be coaching youth football.
listen, I went to J school. I know how this works. People are going to say nice things about him in the media. Not like that. Not that type of J school.
I was
Stop. I'm not talking about Tulane. I'm not talking about Tulane.
wondering. Let's start looking
Uh,
more than it was.
and uh, he says all the right things.
Yeah.
All right. And he's a program guy, and we don't have players arrested, and we don't have doing even what Kirby did, even what Dana did. If you want to talk about West Virginia football and like
Fine.
having scumbag players,
Pass out the Hellcats. Would be fine with it.
but get this, like the stuff that Dana did and the stuff that Neil did, it's kind of the same thing. It's just they're selling it to you in a different package.
Listen, Dana got the bowl games, and we
Neil
were
gets the
ranked.
bowl games, he just loses them.
We haven't been ranked in like 6 years. We've never been ranked under Neil Brown. That's all you need to be.
That's not good.
That's it. That's it. That's where the
Listen, I
conversation
don't. I
ends.
want him gone. I want him gone. I already have my short list. You want to talk about short list and want me to pull up the spreadsheet?
I can't believe we're back to. I feel like we've done this every
We
year. I
do
feel like
this
we're
every
back here.
season.
You fire up your coaching Excel sheet every year. It's just like week 3, Frankie fires up. Who's on
I
the top
did.
this year?
Nah, dude. Legitimately, like as soon as the game ended, I was
Who's
like,
on? I know you are. You're twisted. Who's on the
I
top?
was like, all right, boys, get the sheets up. I went to the syndicate. I talked to my boys at the syndicate. I said, get the sheets, get the sheets. Hold on, it's
Get your
loading right
papers
now.
up.
I've had internet issues. But talk about the game real quick while I load this up. Talk about what you saw during the
I
game.
mean, it was basically total ref show, which no one wants to hear that talk about the refs. But for Narduzzi to say to the first thing Narduzzi talked about was complaining about the refs is absolutely one of the
That
wildest
was wild.
things.
That was wild.
Was
And you
I mean,
can look at. Go ahead.
out of all the things to complain about, after West Virginia got about 3 touchdowns called back and huge plays brought back to complain about the refs, after one small push off, after we got probably every phantom holding call and every huge play called back, to complain about the refs after a W is absolute insanity. Just living in a delusional world that I can't, like, a level of pettiness that even my wildest hater dreams can never achieve is just, whatever. And,
The woman at my office who's a Pitt grad, she was busting my chops. I wore a West Virginia polo on Monday because my faith is unwavering.
yeah.
I wore a West Virginia polo on Monday, and she was like, "How does it feel to lose to both your rivals?" And I didn't want to get into a discussion about what constitutes a rival because Penn State's
Yeah.
not a rival. And I was like, it was a good game. I feel like when these two teams play, it's just a battle of who sucks the least that day, which is not wrong.
Yeah.
I have to dumb down my football takes because you want me to get into like the political aspects of like sport. And I said, well, the good news for us is we lost this game, which means we probably get to fire our coach. The bad news
Yeah.
is you're probably going to be stuck with yours.
Yeah.
That's that's my take. I will say Holstein or whatever, he was really impressive with Pitt, and
He
I
looked
like
good.
Pitt's offensive coordinator, and I think West Virginia secondary stinks, and they showcased that.
Give me your
Um,
give me your top 2 coaches that are out there. Give me your top 2 guys you want on the
okay,
Franklin
hold on,
charts.
hold on.
Okay.
I got G5 head coaches, I got Power 4 coordinators, and I got Pipe Dream.
Let's hear them.
G5 head coaches: Ryan Silverfield at Memphis,
Okay.
Jason Candle at Toledo. He's been recruiting in the area for a while. He's one of the only MAC guys that's like winning consistently. And the MAC used to turn out coaches like crazy, and now people disrespect it. Jamie Chadwell, which I don't think is going to happen. And then the last one, which definitely isn't going to happen because he's going to stay in Texas, is GJ Kenny.
Yeah.
He's just on the list. Now our AD has Texas ties, so
Yeah.
maybe he puts out a feeler and has the consulting firm look at him. Power 4 coordinators. It was 3. I'm taking Jim Knowles off my list. I don't think he'll ever leave. I have 2. Kodal Nicky at Penn State. I love him.
Yeah.
Kane Womack, who's the DC at Bama. He was a former head coach at South Al and then moved up to DC at Bama. I think we're on that level where you can pluck a P5 coordinator.
Okay.
And then the pipe dream is obviously Dan Mullen.
Oh, I didn't think that's where you were going. I
You thought I
thought
was going Saban,
no.
Jimbo.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going Jimbo. I know how the Jimbo story ends.
Yeah,
It
that's
ends with
okay.
glasses on the end of his face, papers flying around, and being like the one of these.
Listen,
That's Jimbo. That's how it ends with Jimbo.
listen. I thought that's for sure where you're going with Jimbo. But
No.
listen, I don't know. I'm hoping that it goes, but I think we'll touch on maybe where we're going to go with this West Virginia game next. But I'm interested. You've been teasing this off chat with me. You've been telling me about something's going on in the Dimes world, which is ever evolving, the dating world. Frankie's just consistent denial of dating any girl with any sort of sanity, any girl with any sort of head on her shoulders, any ambition. Frankie treats dating as if he's just like, like how most girls in their 20s treat, adopting a dog. Which one looks like it's most likely to abuse me? That's how Frankie treats the dating world. So let's just go to a Frankie's dating roundtable. What's new in the world of the Dimes man?
Like a moth to a flame. If you have daddy issues,
He loves
we're
them.
going out.
Yeah, let's hear it. The floor
And
is
it's
yours.
and maybe it's because I'm everything that their dad isn't. I'm
Yeah,
nice. I'm
yeah.
thoughtful. You know.
Mhm.
Um Boston cut. No, I'm just kidding. um so I've been going to seeing this girl for a couple weeks now, and last night she did something. I felt like I was losing. I felt like I was taking crazy pills, and I
Okay.
felt like Larry David a lot in this sense because
Yeah.
this is a curb. This is a curb episode.
I'm ready.
So I have season tickets to the soccer team up here. I'm seeing Messi play on Saturday, which is going to be dope. But
There you go.
I don't have to watch West Virginia suck to Kansas. Um, she's like 20 minutes late to my house. In turn, which means we can't take the train. I have to spend like $40 on a cab to go to the stadium to get to the
That's
game.
tough. That's
Yeah.
tough.
We miss kickoff, which I don't really care about that. It's not
Yeah.
like a big thing. The team loses 5-1. It's like the third worst defeat in team history at home, and she happens to be there for that. It's a whole thing. Whatever. As we're walking around at halftime, I said, "Yeah, you're my guest. I want to take you out. Get whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Have fun. If you want to get like a piece of merchandise or like whatever food or whatever, it's fine." She's like, "I want a cocktail," and I was like, "Yeah, whatever. Get a cocktail." She goes up to the cocktail thing, says, "I'll have a strawberry margarita." Fine, order, whatever. Bartender goes, "Would you like to make that a double?" Without hesitation, she says, "Yes, please. Yes, make it a double."
So in your
To
mind,
which,
you're making an investment at this point.
to which I said out loud to the bartender, "Well, it's on my card, so."
Nice.
And the
Class.
bartender laughed audibly. Like I made him laugh. And then he charged me $40 for the cocktail. But
Naturally. Naturally.
then we Uber back to my house and whatever, and nothing, literally nothing crazy. Hugged her goodnight, and
Hmm.
and that was that. Now I understand with her background with her parents, it's just going to be closed off. There's not going to be a lot of outward public displays of affection. I'm not a PDA guy either, and I'm not asking for XYZ or expecting XYZ because I spent whatever dollar amount on you. I'm just saying this situation is going to be tough.
This started like I said, this I think this is starting, like I said, we talk about this. The way this story started, this started like the Frankie Dimes man is starting his alt-right journey, where
Whoa.
he's like, I bought her this and I expected this. I feel like this was starting like Frankie is starting to say like she owes me something, and this is where
No, why would you you're
this is like
spinning it?
next pod, like I have to share my picks like with Steven Crowder, like he's gonna tell me why like LSU's offense
Failed
is explosive.
comedian Steven Crowder, the very
Louder with
same.
Crowder, like he's gonna tell me why like Kansas State's a sleeper pick, and I gotta like cede 5 minutes to him.
Kansas State has an all-white coaching staff.
That's the kind of stuff. That's the kind of tidbits he would love to slip in.
No, I'm saying that's what he says.
Oh, that's
I
interesting.
don't know what their staff looks like.
But that's something he would say. He'd have some documents like that.
He would have document. There would be a
He'd,
dossier.
it'd be files emailed to me beforehand, right after read up. Like that's interesting.
The dumbest people like Steven Crowder and the dumbest people I talked to you about this earlier today. The dumbest people love to say things like, do your own research.
Yeah.
And they just send you links to like the craziest sites of all time.
Does that reflect on us that we do our own research for these picks, or are we not gonna draw the comparison?
when I do research for my picks, I'm looking for confirmation bias.
Okay, you're like looking to say like these people agree with what I say.
Yeah. Like
Gotcha.
I have an idea of I'll look at the line, I'll look at the lines. I'll obviously I watch just about every game. I go back, I read the reports on the game, and then I look and I'm like, okay, oh, this person's going this way, this person's going this way. Why is that? Okay, the line hasn't moved. Projections say this. All right. I know. I gotta tell you, like, I do like the board this week. I have like one, two, three, four, five, six, like six, seven picks circled. Probably gonna
Okay. Narrow it down.
mash that down a little bit, depending on what you do. But I got a brilliant idea. So I'm coming to you next month, right?
Yes,
I'm coming to you next month. The fellas are getting together. I think we should live pod an episode.
I think we should.
Maybe just like a bonus episode,
Yeah, why
like
not?
not even necessarily something where we pick games, but I would love a live thing. And I don't think the fellas want to be in it because they're learned doctors and they have
They are.
careers.
Yeah,
And you just like shoo people out of ghettos, and then I like just push papers around all day.
yeah, it's great.
Those are our jobs.
Yeah, they are.
Um, I would love to do a live podcast. I really think it'd be fun.
I think we can make it work.
All right.
We
Something else.
ready to we ready to
Some
get some fucking winners out?
we could give some winners out, but I have a suggestion for us while we're
Give it
in
to
Cincinnati for the freak off.
the freak off.
The freak off. Uh, am I still allowed to listen to Diddy's "I'm Coming Home" even though the freak off allegations are valid? Because that song
Yes.
rips.
I don't know where this is what happens whenever scandals happen because listen, this scandal is going to be horrific, but at the time, the memes and the actual reporting is, I'm sorry, it's absolutely hilarious.
The
The
term
accounts,
"freak off" is used on like
the term freak off is one of the top 5 funniest terms I've ever heard. And I'm like, if I was a juror at the Diddy trial, I'd be strict, I'd be thrown off immediately.
yeah.
Because if I had to hear an attorney just read the allegation freak off over and over, I would be dying laughing.
Now, sir, during these alleged freak offs, you supplied the baby oil.
Like the term, like the term, the fact that grown men were like, "Hey, like, what are you doing during the freak off?" Is just the funniest thing I've ever heard. Like the fact that this is like
Do you think there was like a hierarchy at the freak off where it's like this guy's a
yes,
legend at the freak off?
yeah,
This guy's a
like
legend.
the fact that these people were like, "Listen, this guy's a S tier freak off competitor." Is unreal. Now, what happens at the freak off is probably so dark. Like the allegations at the freak off would probably melt your eyes.
I would love to know who is the Travis Hunter of the freak off playing both sides.
I imagine a lot of people. I imagine there's a lot of more Travis Hunters at the freak off than there
A
are
lot of
Travis
Shohei
Hunters.
Otanis at the freak off.
I imagine the majority of people at the freak off are more Travis Hunters. I imagine the people that just play on one side of the ball at the freak off are pretty rare. Okay, just from the tweets that I have read, the non Ironman competitors at the freak off,
The
yeah,
the non athletes.
yeah, the people that are just there one way are at the freak offs. Pretty rare breed. Okay, the people passing down at the freak offs are, but
Is
yeah,
somebody gonna match my freak?
we'll find
My
out.
mom texted me today. We were talking about freak offs, me and my mom, and
I'm upset you didn't throw me in that chat. I'm upset I didn't get a little bubble thrown in there.
a little bubble screen.
Yeah,
We were talking about dating and girls and whatnot, and my mom says, "You're a frugal." She's misspelled this, by the way. You're a frugal guy. You want a low maintenance, common sense, smart, attractive, fit lady. I think that's true.
yeah.
And she also has to be bilingual.
And this has to do with the freak off in which way?
Oh no, I just wanted to talk about my mom.
Oh, I thought your mom really had a conversation about the freak off. I was really ready to jump in.
No, no, no. But speaking of freak off, in Cincinnati, listen,
Yes.
we have a friend for some reason, one reason or another. He doesn't listen to this, so it's okay. We have a friend that just makes poor financial decisions, has a fine job, and just makes poor financial decisions, of which I'm not sure what they are. But supposedly, he's not going to be able to make it to the Freak Off 2024 Men's Retreat Freak Off, sponsored by
Yeah.
Sheets, presented by Sheets.
Presented by Sheets.
That irks me. That bothers me. And my suggestion for us, for you and me on the pod, we need to make a pick in solidarity for our friend. We need to agree on a pick, and we just need to hammer down units to get SC to Cincy.
I feel like I have better avenues for this money, but sure.
All right,
I
so
think I have better ways to spend.
let's go through our picks. Let's see if we agree on anything, and then we can make one the certified syndicate SC
To the
uh
freak off.
to the freak send SC to the freak off
Okay.
pick.
Okay. It's like send a kid to camp.
Send a kid to camp. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm in. I'm in. All right. We barely, I don't know who gets to go first. I'm gonna let you carry it off because you were still so hot 2 weeks ago. So give me your first pick. You are still up 2.5 units. And if we have any time at the end, we'll see if there's any big games we missed and we'll go through those. How much time we got left?
I think we're good. We're definitely over 10 minutes.
All right, cool. Let's go. Let's how many picks you got?
We'll just say, how many do you have? I'll just say five.
I got five.
All right, we'll do five then. We'll do a
All right.
5-pack.
5-pack. All right, start us off.
This one is a big number. This is don't think, just throw. I got Indy minus 28.5. Now you can get minus 28.5 at minus 105, which means if you want to buy the half point to make it minus 28, it'd be like 115 or whatever. If you want to buy the half point, or minus 120. Either way, Indiana's not like they look competent under Kurt Signetti, who was number one
Yeah.
on my list last year to take
He
over the job
was.
for Neil Brown. That was my pick, and he's turned Indiana football competent, which is a hard thing to do. They're playing an Ohio team that has just been ravaged by the portal. Ohio was in a dogfight with an FCS team last week. I know this
Yeah.
because I had them in a money line parlay, and they did do their thing, and I'm happy for the Bobcats. But they've just been ravaged, and Indy's got a chance to throttle down, and Signetti's not going to take the foot off the gas. So 28.5, laying with the Hoosiers.
Okay. Okay. I like that. God, that's a lot of points. I would recommend just because of the backdoor. I would recommend grabbing that 28. God, I know Frankie doesn't like giving that juice, but God, that 28, that's such a key number. I would think about grabbing that 28. I'm going to go with my first pick. I feel like I'm stealing one of your picks here, but that you've just loved them so much. A team that I was really high on at the beginning of the year, and I'm starting to turn on them. I'm fading my Flames. Give me ECU plus 6.5. I think ECU might take this straight up. I
On the
like how they
field.
looked against App State last week, and catching 6.5. I think there's a chance they take this on the money line. I might throw them in a money line parlay just to get some. Might go big game hunting, but ECU plus 6.5, 1 unit. I think they're a live dog, and I have not been overly impressed with Liberty this year.
Do you know what time that game is? Because I'm going to see what lines I can get you. Maybe I can get you a
God, I
7.
think it's a. I
I
think
think
it's
it's a later one. There it is.
Yeah, I think it's a midday game.
6.5 at minus 108.
I haven't
Oh,
seen any sevens.
if you can get to a 7, that'd be really nice.
Yeah.
I think day of game people might the libs.
If you can get a 7, great. But I'm comfortable at a 6.5. I think it plays below that number. I think it plays in the threes. So
I love the
like
Pirates, and
ECU.
I love the Pirates. I was all over them last week, and
All
they
over you.
covered
Yeah, you've been all over 'em.
barely.
Yeah. Okay.
Jake Garcia just chaotic, just like the
Yeah.
ball. It is coming out of his hand. It is hitting it. It's a fumble, a pick, or a touchdown. The ball. He is doing something with the ball. Also, ECU's D line. This is gonna be a great test for Liberty, and this is arguably their last test before they go on a run where they just play literal like air. They play nobody.
Mm-hmm.
And
No.
that worries me because I don't want Liberty to be the representative in the playoff. So
I do have a juicy futures parlay with Liberty though, so I kind of hope that happens. But yeah, for right now, give me ECU. What's your next
Okay.
pick, buddy?
My next pick, general principle play.
Let's hear it.
And we're putting 2 units on it.
Okay.
Boston College minus 6.5 at home against Michigan State. Michigan State's still an improving team. We like both of these teams, honestly. I think they're both improving. I respect Billy O a lot. I respect Jonathan Smith a lot, too. He seems like a great coach. As we know, I love the chaotic ability of Castellanos, the quarterback at Boston College. But here's why I'm putting 2 units on it, Yenzer.
Hear it.
3 words. Red bandana game.
That's all you need to say. Wasn't it last week? It wasn't last week?
They didn't do it on 9/11. I think
Okay.
they're on the road.
Okay. I saw the banner last week during the commercial, so I wanted to make sure. If that's the case, that's
It's
all
this
you need
week.
to say.
Confirmed.
That's all you need to say then. Boston College by $1 billion. Boston College by $1 billion. That's all you need to say. All right.
That might be the pick to send our boy to.
That might be. Well, from one great American to a whole host of great Americans, I'm keeping it in house right here.
Okay,
Give me Army -6.
good
Army
pick.
Army could be ranked. Not a lot
Okay,
of people are talking about. Not a lot of people are talking about Army. I feel like this line is way too low. When this came out, I was kind of thinking again, this might be in the double digit line. So
yeah,
give me Army. I don't know. I don't know if a lot of people have been paying attention to this team. They've been flying below the radar. This is one of those teams where they started out kind of below the radar against Rice. Have I been very impressed with Rice? I don't think so. The line's been creeping up into 6.5. I got it at 6, so I'm going to give it at 6.
yeah.
And I'm going to play this at 2 units.
Okay, I like it. I went chalk. I've been going chalk. I'm gonna take some candy right here.
Yeah.
Houston plus 3.5 on the road at Cincinnati. This is a battle of cellar dwellers here, and I like Willie Fritz a lot more than I like Scott Satterfield, which is a crazy hire, by the way. Houston, not very good, but improving. Cincinnati, not very good. Period. Stop.
Can I stop you right there? My next pick, Cincinnati Bearcats. Houston offense dead in the water. Give me Cincinnati at home.
This is our first fight of the season.
This is our first fight of the season. We're very, very rare for never talking about our picks before. It's very rare that we're against each other. Once again, these are both. Is yours a 1 unit play?
Of course.
Mine's a 1 unit play. So again, I think this is just purely as as the quote these girls, they're not going to fight. They're just talking. They're just talking. It's a 1 unit play. Cincinnati, I have not liked what I've seen out of Houston. I like how Cincinnati, I like how the quarterback takes care of the ball, no interceptions. Pitt's pretty dangerous. I like how Cincinnati kept them wrapped up for about 3 quarters. I don't think Houston's gonna have the firepower to keep up with them. So give me Cincinnati -3.5 1 unit play. So I'm flipping the script. We'll see who takes care of business on that.
Okay. You could probably get a -3 on that. I found the best line at 3.5. You could probably
If
get
I
a
can
3.
get 3, if I can get 3, I'd love to take the 3. I couldn't see any 3s out there this morning.
Well, let me see.
Also, I'm in Colorado, so it's still it's so bright as shit.
Yeah, what's going on, man? You're looking into like the light of God right there.
I'm in Colorado, dude.
What time is the game?
It's
I think it's a later game.
what, the Cincy game?
No.
I think it's noon, isn't it?
Oh, really?
I think so. All right, what's your next pick?
I'm trying to find a good line for you because I'm a good friend. Here we go. Oh yeah, it's 3.5. I'm stupid. All right, all that for that. We got 9 minutes left. We're good. We are so good. I'm torn between a couple of picks here. We're gonna do this. Virginia and Coastal over 53.5.
Okay, tell me why.
Virginia's offense is classic college chaos.
Yeah,
and I watched.
love that.
And I watched. Yeah, I love Cole Andrea, the quarterback there at Virginia. He's like a great value version of Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, that's actually a good comp. I'm gonna go close. Just keep talking.
Keep talking. I watched all of Coastal Carolina last week when they played at Temple, and I gave Coastal out because they're playing at Temple, and they gave up more points to Temple than I was pleased with. They still scored a decent amount, but they gave up way too many points to a Temple team. That's just so much worse. You look like a ghost.
Yeah, that is bad still.
I can't even see your face.
Here we go. Keep going.
I mean, that's the synopsis. Coastal gave up way too many points to Temple for me to be like, okay, they'll keep this under 28. And Coastal's and what bothers me is Travis Trickett is the offensive coordinator at Coastal, and he couldn't hit the team total over or cover against Temple.
That's true.
He couldn't also coach quarterbacks when he was at West Virginia either.
He was not very good at that either.
All right.
We're going to my next one. I know you hate these big games, and I keep staring at this. This has been you talked about principal plays. This is my principal play.
Okay.
I don't think Michigan's very good. I don't think Michigan's been good all year. And I could grab that -5. That -5 looks juicy, but there's been a lot of Michigan money, and it's scaring me, and I'm afraid of a backdoor cover. So give me USC -1. Give me the over 35. You can get that right now at -103.
Wow.
Give me a same game parlay. People love the same games.
SGP.
The books love it more than anything in the world. USC -1 over 35. USC, I think, is going to win the game. I don't think Michigan. They're starting Alex Orgy. Great name and a freak off. But USC -1 over 35. I just don't see the way Michigan goes. Starting Orgy, I think there's going to be a lot of 3 and outs. I think there's going to be a lot of turnovers, and I think there might be some big plays, which is great for that over. And I also think it's good for USC. That's a 1-unit play, but I just do not see any way that Michigan wins this game. Maybe there's going to be egg on my face. I said the same thing before the Texas game. I don't think Michigan's very good. So prove me wrong, Michigan. Also, I just watched the Connor Stallions doc. Great documentary on Netflix. They treated with kids' gloves, but still pretty.
That's what I'm saying. They treat him with kid gloves.
100%. But still, Portnoy was great on it. He was funny in it for about the 2 minutes he was in.
I got one. How many more do I? 1, 2, 3. I think I'm supposed to only have one more, but I might give an extra one.
Go for it, brother.
I got a pick here to potentially close us out that you never would have thought you would have heard from me.
I'm ready.
It's because we've been fading this guy forever and always. I got Colorado -1.5 at home against Baylor.
Wow. I never thought I'd see the day.
I can't stand Baylor football. I don't know how they're allowed to have an organization after the crimes that they've covered up.
That's a tough pick.
Yeah. I mean, I really think that Colorado has the ability to get players open in space and make some magic. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game because Colorado hasn't been able to prove that they can really stop much.
They have no interest in running the ball.
And they have no interest in running the ball. But my only hope is that we just have the ball last and we win by a field goal.
That's all you need. All right, my final pick. I got to play at least one of these a week. These alt spread parlays, they've really been pretty good to me again this year. And I'm going to start with Kansas +7.5. Kansas let me down last week. What is better for the soul after a tough loss than West Virginia on the schedule? That is just the best thing for you. And I'm going to take Arkansas +9.5. Again, you're actually going to get this at plus money at about +125. Kansas +7.5. Arkansas +9.5. I think there's a chance that both of these teams went outright. So why do you need the points? Just so you don't have to sweat it out this Saturday. Give me that at my 2-unit play. And after Frank gives his pick, I'll do a quick recap.
Okay. I'm torn between two picks here, and I'm going to ask you which one I should do.
Okay. Give them to me both.
All right. Kansas State on the road at BYU.
Okay.
It's -6.
Yep.
And Oregon State at home -4 against Purdue.
I'll tell you what the sharp play is. The sharp play is Oregon State. That is what I've seen a lot of, like when you see all these like Westgate and Circa contests and all these guys that have to get their picks in on Tuesday, it's Oregon State. That's a big pick. A lot of people think, especially after watching Purdue beat absolutely nobody and then just get just stomped by Notre Dame. Oregon State seems to be the pick. BYU has not showed a lot. Kansas State also in their first real test stepped up, but we don't really know how good they are.
Conference road game in Provo.
Yes. So that could be kind of scary. That seems like a big spot that BYU could step up. So I would take Oregon State if it were me.
All right, let's do it. Oregon State -4. Put it on the card. That does it for me.
1 unit?
1.
All right, I'm going to recap the Dimes man right now. He's got Indiana -28.5. Do you want 28.5 or 28?
I mean, I'd have to pay extra juice. I'll give you the hook. I don't care.
20. He's ballsy. 28.5, 1 unit. BC -6.5, 2 units. Houston +3.5, 1 unit. Coastal over 53, 1 unit. Colorado -1.5, 1 unit. Oregon State -4, 1 unit. Yinzer's got Kansas +7.5 and Arkansas +9.5, 2 unit. Adjusted spread parlay. I've got Army -6, 2 unit. ECU +6.5, 1 unit. Cincinnati -3.5, 1 unit. And then the same game parlay, USC -1 over 35, 1 unit parlay. You can get that at plus money right now, 1 unit. So, buddy, you're sitting up 2.5. I'm down 2.5. I'm thinking we're both going to be plus money by the time we do this next week. And
listen. Our bet is on our bet is on a half number.
Yeah.
Somebody is going to lose and win a unit.
That's true.
On the Houston pick.
We're gonna get tilted, but I still think we got enough winners right here. I'm feeling pretty good on this slate. I like this slate. I think it's a pretty good weekend.
Yeah,
And we didn't talk about the Tennessee game, Tennessee Oklahoma. What do you think? What do you think happens in there?
I think Tennessee boat races
Yeah, that's one of those
because
weird ones.
Tennessee's defense. People want to talk about the offense high scoring, but that defense is legit.
I looked hard. I looked long and hard at the under in that game.
That no, that is an under game. That's an under game. People, both team running mock tempo.
Yeah.
Give me the under.
The reason I didn't play that one is I'm going to be live betting that game. So I want to see how Tennessee looks on the road in its first road game. If Tennessee, let's say Oklahoma gets the ball, goes down the field, maybe kicks a field goal, and I can get Tennessee at like -3 at even money. There we go. That'll be the slam of the week. So, but regardless,
okay, I need to live bet more. I'm not live betting enough.
That's how I've been. That's really the only reason I've been making some money is I've been crushing the live betting. So playing with my eyes. But buddy,
nice.
a good week. Let's see what we can do. And then next week we'll be back in the home turf, back in the Natty.
Yep.
So let's get some winners, man. I'll talk to you this week.
All right, send us C to Cincy. Freak off 2024.
I just want to freak them so bad.